Why does buying a car feel like you finally got more freedom, but a few months later your bank account feels more trapped than before? Why do people celebrate the day they get the keys, but ignore the fact that the car starts taking money from them every single month after that? And why do so many people ask, can I afford the payment, but never ask, how much will this car quietly remove from my net worth? The real problem is not just the car payment, it is the depreciation you do not see, the insurance you get used to, the repairs you pretend are random, and the opportunity cost no one shows you at the dealership. The real question is not, can you afford the car? The real question is, how much of your future income did you just lock inside a depreciating machine? That is the part car ownership makes easy to ignore. Most people think of a car as transportation. They think of the monthly payment, the gas or charging cost, the insurance, maybe the maintenance. If the payment fits, the car feels affordable. But a car is not only a thing you drive, it is a bundle of financial leaks. Some leaks are obvious. The loan payment leaves every month. The insurance bill shows up. The gas pump hurts. The repair invoice hurts more. But the biggest leaks often do not feel like bills at all. Depreciation does not send you a monthly statement. Opportunity cost does not appear on the dashboard. The trade-in value does not scream while it falls. And that is why cars can quietly become one of the biggest wealth killers in normal life. Not because every car is bad, not because owning a car is always irresponsible. In many places, a car is necessary. It gets you to work, school, family, groceries, medical appointments, and everything else that modern life requires. The problem is not needing transportation. The problem is buying transportation like it is a reward, financing it like it is a lifestyle, and then pretending the only cost is the monthly payment. That is where people get trapped. Start with the number everyone understands, the payment. According to Experian data cited by LendingTree, the average monthly payment for a new vehicle in the first quarter of 2026 reached about $770. Used vehicles averaged about $531 per minute month. Those numbers are already heavy, but the payment is only the front door. Trippia's Your Driving Costs analysis found that the total annual cost to own and operate a new vehicle was $1,157, or about $965 per minute month. For a vehicle driven 1,500 miles a year, that means even before we talk about the emotional cost, the real ownership cost can look much closer to a second rent payment than a simple transportation expense. So the first hidden truth is this: the car payment is not the cost of the car. It is the cost of the loan. The car itself keeps costing money in other ways: insurance, registration, fuel, maintenance, tires, repairs, parking, taxes, interest, depreciation. Every one of those costs is a small door where money can leave. And the reason people miss it is that car ownership separates the pain into different moments. The loan payment hits on one date. Insurance hits somewhere else. Gas or charging happens in small pieces. Maintenance appears unexpectedly. Registration comes once a year. Tires feel rare until they are not. Repairs feel random until the car gets older. Because the costs arrive separately, your brain does not always add them together, but your net worth does. Your bank account does. Your future choices do. That is why the real question is not, can I make the payment? The real question is, what does this car cost me per minute month when everything is counted? Now we get to the cost almost nobody feels in real time: depreciation. Depreciation is the money your car loses while you are not looking. You do not swipe a card for it. You do not get a text alert. You do not see a charge called value lost today. But it happens. The moment a car becomes used, the market sees it differently. The miles go up. The warranty gets shorter. New models arrive. Better features arrive. Incentives change. Interest rates change. Consumer taste changes. And in the EV market, battery technology, range, charging speed, software, and tax credit changes can make older models feel outdated faster. This does not mean every car loses value at the same speed. Some vehicles hold value well. Some used cars are smart buys. Some people keep cars long enough that depreciation becomes less painful over time. But the dangerous mistake is pretending depreciation is not real because it is not a monthly bill. If you buy a $50,000 vehicle and it is worth $35,000 a few years later, that missing $15,000 is not imaginary. It is wealth that moved from your balance sheet into time, mileage, and market value loss. And if you keep trading cars before the old one is fully useful to you, depreciation becomes a repeating tax on wanting something newer. That is the second hidden truth. A new car can feel like an upgrade while your net worth is taking a quiet hit. At the dealership, you feel the new interior, the clean screen, the better sound system, the newer safety features, the smell, the identity shift. But your balance sheet feels something else. It feels a large asset becoming smaller. It feels debt attached to something losing value. It feels your future income being locked inside a machine that becomes less valuable as it does its job. That is the strange thing about cars. The better they serve their purpose, the more they often lose value. Every mile that takes you somewhere also records wear. Every year you own it moves it further from new. Every new model makes your model older. So when people say, "I need a reliable car," that can be true. But reliable does not automatically mean new, expensive, heavily financed, or upgraded every few years. Reliability is a transportation need. Status is a spending preference. And many people accidentally finance status while telling themselves they are only buying reliability. That is the third hidden truth. The psychological comfort of a new car can hide a monthly loss of equity. You feel safer because the car is new. You feel proud because it looks better. You feel like you made progress because it represents a better version of your life. But while the car feels stable, its value is decaying. And because that decay is invisible, people underestimate how much it costs. This is especially important in the EV era. Electric vehicles can be great tools for some drivers. They can reduce fuel costs, lower certain maintenance needs, and offer a better driving experience. But they also bring a different kind of depreciation risk. Battery range matters, charging speed matters, software matters, tax credits matter, new price cuts matter, new battery chemistry matters. If a newer model offers more range, faster charging, better battery durability, or a lower price, the older model can feel less attractive quickly. Issachars reported that in Q1 2026, used non-Tesla EV prices fell 10.3% year over year, while used Tesla prices were nearly flat. That does not mean every EV is a bad purchase. It means the used EV market can be uneven, and technology changes can affect resale value in ways buyers may not expect. So the right lesson is not, never buy an EV. The lesson is, do not ignore technology depreciation. A gas car can depreciate because of mileage, age, condition, brand, and market demand. An EV can depreciate for all of those reasons. Plus, battery perception, charging standards, range expectations, software support, and competition from cheaper, new models. That does not make EVs bad. It makes the full ownership math more important. And this brings us to opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the money you do not see because it never had a chance to work somewhere else. If a car costs you $965 a month in total ownership costs, the question is not only whether you can survive the payment, the question is what else that cash flow could have done. Could it build an emergency fund? Could it reduce credit card debt? Could it fund retirement accounts? Could it keep you from using buy now, pay later? Could it make rent feel less terrifying? Could it let you take a lower stress job, move, or handle an emergency without panic? That is the hidden cost dealerships do not show. They show the monthly payment. They do not show the future options you are giving up. This is why the monthly payment question is dangerous. Can I afford the payment is too small a question. A better question is, what part of my future becomes harder because I chose this car? That question changes the conversation, because a car can fit your budget and still slow your wealth. A car can be technically affordable and still make your life fragile. A car can be beautiful, reliable, and fun while still being too expensive for the financial season you are in. That is not shame. That is math. Now, some people will say, but I need a car to earn money. And that may be true. If a car gets you to work, expands job opportunities, saves time, or replaces unreliable transportation, then it can be a productive expense. The issue is not whether a car has value. The issue is whether the version of the car you bought matches the job it is supposed to do. Transportation can be necessary. Luxury transportation is optional. Frequent upgrades are optional. Long loan terms are optional. Buying near the top of your approval amount is optional. Rolling old negative equity into a new loan is dangerous. That last one matters. If you owe more on your car than it is worth, you are underwater. If you trade that car and roll the remaining debt into a new loan, you are not escaping the old decision. You are stacking it onto the next one. Now, the new car is carrying the cost of the old car. That is how people end up with a nice vehicle and a terrible balance sheet. They did not buy one car, they bought one car, plus the mistake from the last car, plus interest, plus depreciation, plus the new ownership costs. And the dealer may still make the payment look manageable by stretching the term. That is the fourth hidden truth. A lower monthly payment can hide a more expensive decision. A longer loan can make the month feel easier, but it can also keep you in debt longer. Increase total interest and raise the chance that the car loses value faster than the loan balance falls. So again, the question is not only, can I make this payment? The question is, what does this payment do to my future flexibility? Here is the plain money rule for this episode. Do not buy a car based on the payment. Buy it based on the total cost of ownership, the expected years of use, and the impact on your future cash flow. That rule sounds less exciting than a new car smell, but it can save years of financial pressure. So how do you apply it? First, calculate the all-in monthly cost before you buy, not just the loan. Add insurance, fuel or charging, maintenance, registration, taxes, parking, estimated repairs, and a monthly estimate for depreciation. If you do not include depreciation, you are leaving out one of the biggest costs. Second, compare the car to your goals. If the car delays your emergency fund, keeps credit card debt alive, prevents retirement contributions, or forces you to depend on perfect income every month, it may be too expensive, even if the payment fits. Third, be careful with long loans. Long terms can make an expensive car look affordable, but affordability is not the same as a smaller monthly number. Affordability means the decision does not weaken your future. Fourth, think in years, not months. A car becomes less dangerous when you keep it long enough to get real value from it. The most expensive pattern is often buying new, absorbing heavy depreciation, trading early, and repeating. Fifth, separate transportation from identity. This is hard because cars are emotional. They signal success, taste, freedom, adulthood, safety, and belonging. But if the car is quietly eating your future, the identity is too expensive. And sixth, remember that a paid-off, boring car can be a wealth-building tool, not because it makes you rich directly, but because it stops demanding so much cash flow. When a car is reliable, paid off, and not constantly breaking, it gives you something valuable. Room to save, room to invest, room to breathe, room to stop making every financial decision from a place of pressure. That is the real freedom people were looking for when they bought the car in the first place. Not leather seats, not a bigger screen, not a lower monthly payment stretched over more years. Freedom is when your transportation does its job without owning your paycheck. So the next time you look at a car, do not ask only what the payment is. Ask what the car will cost after the excitement is gone. Ask what it will be worth in 3 years. Ask what insurance will do to your monthly cash flow. Ask what repairs will feel like when the warranty ends. Ask what else that money could have built. And ask whether the car is truly buying freedom or just giving you a nicer way to feel trapped. The real question is not, can you afford the car? The real question is, how much of your future income did you just lock inside a depreciating machine? This video is for financial education and general analysis only. It is not investment, tax, or legal advice. All financial decisions involve risk, and your situation may be different. And here is the question to leave with. If the dealership showed you the full 5-year cost of the car, including depreciation, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and lost opportunities, would you still call the monthly payment affordable?